to go?
You're not gonna believe it, Lise. This cool Indian guy showed me our future.
Really? Anything good?
I'll say. I've got my own band. And a moped.
What about me?
Yeah, some government job.
Forests on the hills to the far west. They were transported for almost 100 miles across the dry flatlands. These people had no wheels, no pack animals. Their only source of power, human muscle. Come on. The reach of the canyon people was displayed by the network of roads that scored their territory, radiating from its great central canyon as if in imitation of the sun. Unlike most Indian trails, these ran straight and wide, north-south. From the territory bounded by the road system came tribute and captives from enemy tribes. From beyond it came luxuries. From Mexico, copper bells and the feathers of scarlet macaws. From the coast of California, exotic shells. These imports were exchanged for the turquoise of the canyon people's own mountains, crafted today into fine jewelry. Reflections of sky, drops of blue, almost as precious here as water. People crowded within the canyon needed quantities of food which could only be coaxed from the desert by irrigation. They cut channels shaped like waffles. Corn fed the manpower explosion of the 12th century. Corn was the god that people ate. Seeds that stored the sun. But the sun also helped destroy the civilization built here. After a series of droughts, in the 12th century, the canyon region was abandoned, reconquered by nature. Although the buildings were deserted, the way of life survived. Today, other native peoples recall what started here.
A lot of the practices of the old ones still exist today. There's planting and the ways of irrigating, the way we build our homes, the way we have our songs and our ceremonies, and we will always carry them on into the new millennium for our children and our grandchildren to enjoy as well as we have.
The canyon people were isolated but not unique. All over the world, in the 12th century, civilizations challenged their environments and developed new ways of living together.
Sir, Mr. Herman?
Yes?
Did you lose your arm in the war?
My arm? Well, let me put it this way. Next time your teacher tells you to keep your arm inside the bus window, you do it.
Yes, sir, I will.
Bart's got a problem with a local young bully named Nelson. I thought you could help him with some kind of strategy.
Strategy? How many men do you have?
None.
You'll need more. And you'll need to train them hard. Now, let's see. Okay. The key to Springfield has always been Elm Street. The Greeks knew it. The Carthaginians knew it. Now you know it. First, you'll need a declaration of war. That way everything you do will be nice and legal. Okay, I can use this one from the Franco-Prussian War. I'll just change Otto von Bismarck to read Bart Simpson. And,
Grandpa, I think this guy's a little nuts.
Oh, yeah? Well, General George S. Patton was a little nuts. And this guy is completely out of his mind. We can't fail.
South of San Francisco, on the San Andreas Fault's Calaveras branch. August 6th, 1979. The strongest earthquake since 1911. Sam Pintello was outside landscaping when it struck.
I stood here and you could look out over the hills. You could see the hills rolling into each other, just like they're just sort of bending. The ground was moving, the house was moving. Everything was everything seems to be tilting, especially the hills tilting toward each other. And of course I could see the trees shimmering over here. I didn't know, it was just eerie.
The fault at Hollister isn't locked. Slow creep and small shakes tear the land beneath the center of town. Houses are twisted out of shape. Streets and curbs are cracked and broken. In this region of unusual activity, instruments monitor fault movement. Hillsides are dotted with reflectors for laser beams. A unique two-color system tracks deep earth movement across the fault. 4 months before the August quake, the ground began to creep. Movement lasted for 10 weeks, followed by a period of quiet. Then, the earthquake struck. It is hoped the laser will eventually provide a reliable way to forecast earthquakes. West of Hollister, the San Andreas Fault gouges a narrow valley. Slashing north along a chain of valleys and long, narrow lakes, the San Andreas Fault cuts the San Francisco Peninsula in two. On the shore of San Francisco Bay is Marine World, where studies of animal behavior may give warning of earthquakes to come. Peter Gross is director of land animals.
What we have here at Marine World is the entire collection of both land and sea animals being viewed on a daily basis by all the keepers and the trainers and the handlers. And what they're looking for amongst themselves, all separated and went into their own species. The zebras all stayed together, the antelope all went to one area. They just didn't want to mix with each other during this period of unrest and fear. I think that the animals are all...
Reports of strange animal behavior before earthquakes go back thousands of years. So far, however, it has proven difficult to use such information for reliable prediction. There is still no sure way. On the western edge of San Francisco, 3 feet wide could split foundations and bring thousands of houses crashing down on their owners. On the east side of San Francisco Bay, the Hayward branch of the fault cuts through city after city. In 1836 and again in 1868, huge earthquakes here caused little damage because the area was barely inhabited. Today, however, dozens of schools and hospitals stand in the fault zone. In the aftermath of the San Fernando quake, where some buildings that met all earthquake codes collapsed, standards throughout the state were toughened. Schools along the Hayward Fault were reinforced or replaced.